This is not exactly a beginner's crystal. Smoky Elestial Quartz will show you everything you're ready to release and everything you're ready to become. If you've been feeling stuck or heavy, chances are it's not a setback, it's an initiation, and Smoky Elestial Quartz will help guide you through. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Sarah Bell, modern medicine woman, shamanic mentor, and crystal wisdom teacher, and I'm excited to share with you about this stone, Smoky Elestial Quartz. Elestial quartz stones are not your typical quartz. And let me just tell you about my experience with this stone. I can't remember how many years ago it was now, but I was in a shamanic journey in the upper world, and I received this sort of code activation or crystalline healing, and I specifically heard the word Elestial because I thought, what is happening? And I heard this voice I typically hear through my clairsenses, and I heard Elestial, and I remember specifically asking in my mind, Celestial? Because I had never heard of that word before. It's Elestial with an E, and then I heard this correction, no, Elestial. And so I received this crystalline upgrade or this crystalline activation in this upper world journey, which is not uncommon. I've received many crystal healings in the upper world. And when I came back from that journey, I Googled it. Of course, the first thing most of us do is go and start to research and see what we can find. And that is when I discovered Elestial Quartz. And so let's talk about what makes this stone so beautiful and unique. And so if you can see here in the light, there are these like stepped patterns. And so the way that the growth of the point or the terminations of the stone happen in these little steps. Can you see all of these little steps? And I have another piece that's a little bit smaller here, and you can kind of see it's a little bit more difficult to see. And so these steps are part of the architecture of the intelligence of the stone. And it's thought that these stones are a type of record keeper, and they connect you in with portals of higher light. They connect you in with the angelic levels, choirs of angels, and higher octaves of light. But oftentimes, Elestial Quartz comes in this smoky variety. It's often found in the smoky form of quartz, which is irradiated. And smoky quartz, if you're familiar, is an incredible balancing stone. It diffuses heavy energy and negative energy, and it's incredibly purifying in how it works. And so you can kind of think about the natures of quartz. Quartz is amplifying. It is a beautiful stone of light. It's a clear channel for light. And so we bring in that higher light, and it's in smoky quartz, it's like the light purifies the density. It purifies the smokiness or the heaviness or the darkness, right? And so there is this purifying quality to smoky quartz, and it's also grounding. It supports us at the root. And so you have these sort of two energies of the Elestial quality, which is all about higher octaves of light, higher connections. And then you have this smoky quality, which is all about grounding and clearing the density and bringing this light all the way down. And so when we think about anchoring light, this is an incredible, I have it backwards, an incredible stone for anchoring light. You could see the back of it there too, where it came off of the matrix. And you can see that almost looks more like clear quartz there, and then the smoky variety forming. And so I want to talk about sort of how this crystal supports you. There's kind of like three key ways that it kind of provides this really powerful energetic support. And I'm bringing this stone forward because as we move into winter and solstice, this is a really powerful stone to work with to help clear or clarify the channel, clear density, do that inner shadow work, and anchor higher light, higher wisdom, higher connection, higher soul light in form. And so all the energetics are happening around us are supporting that. And you can go check out my other videos where I talk about some of those themes. But this is a powerful stone to work with. And I'm also going to share with you an activation and how to work with it deeper. So the first thing is shadow illumination and transmutation. And so when we look at that higher light coming down and in, it will get blocked when there is density. So that density can be like an egoic thought pattern that keeps looping through your field. It can be any type of energetic pattern. It can be the ways that we sort of deny ourselves or dishonor ourselves or keep from looking at our truth or keep from honoring the real undercurrent that's trying to make its way through. And so the shadow is in essence the part of ourselves that we repress or ignore or push down or don't want to see. It's those qualities that maybe we wish we didn't have, but we do. And we often just prefer not to look at them. And so oftentimes this comes from our imprinting, right? And our cultural conditioning and what we, even our karmic loops, our karmic patterns and the things we came into this life to work through on a personality level, because the shadow is presented through this personality matrix. But when we're wanting to anchor higher soul light into form, we are literally looking at how do we unify higher self with personality? How do we clarify the personality matrix to allow for that higher soul expression to come through? And so there is kind of this merging, which is what happens in the heart field. And when we come into heart coherence and into 0 point in connection in with the unified field. But so I'm getting off on a tangent. Back to shadow illumination. But all of this is how we start to illuminate the shadow, is coming into the heart, sitting in stillness, calling up those shadow qualities of self, and doing that inner contemplation, that inner deeper reflection work. Right. And so this stone can kind of support you with seeing what is unresolved. What is it that I'm not looking at? And it helps to bring that into your awareness. And it's bringing this loving light of the angels, right, to help to start to dissolve some of that energy through your own compassion, through the compassion of your own heart, through your own higher witnessing, your own higher perspective, and ultimately your willingness to lean in and to touch it and to feel it and to be with those emotional processes and to actually look at the origins. This stone helps you to look at the origins of the why the shadow exists, and it helps you to come into deeper sort of vulnerability and honesty with the roots of the shadow. And so this stone is really helping you to get to that deeper understanding that helps the personality let go. And so it helps you to understand why the shadow has been living in your field, and it helps to bring in the energetics to release that deeper programming and to start to dissolve some of that emotional residue that's attached to it. The mental looping, right? It helps to sort of dissolve some of that mental looping energy. And it helps to pull that higher light energy down to clear that heavy energy. So this is the first thing, is shadow illumination and transmutation. And the second one is higher dimensional consciousness. So I talked about connecting in with higher octaves of light, with choirs of angels. This helps you to connect in with star family, ancestral guides, angelic guides, really any higher level spirit guides that are wanting to connect. You can pretty much work with this stone to build those higher light connections. And so if you've ever felt like maybe you've had some intuitive experiences or mystical experiences, or you sense that you have intuitive gifts, this is a really powerful stone to work with to help to sort of awaken some of those intuitive gifts and build those higher connections so that you can start to open the crown and connect in more easily. And so this is like a powerful doorway. You can think of this as like a gateway or a doorway opening you up to higher levels of connection. And then the third one that I want to talk about, the way that sort of the energetic medicine of the stone, if you will. The third one is embodying higher levels of light, or embodying light integration. And so integrating the higher light in form through your expression. And so a lot of people will receive insights or have a mystical experience or a spiritual experience, but then not fully integrate it or not do the work that's needed to really integrate the experience, right? It's like you might have an experience, you mentalize it, and then you move on, right? And so there's a lot of ways that we can go deeper in our own personal reflective work, contemplative practices, meditation, journaling, and really coming into higher awareness and As you integrate higher frequency experiences, you start to shift your energetic architecture. And as you clear the shadow aspects of self, those denser looping patterns or discordant energies within your field, you start to shift your energetic architecture. And so this stone is a really powerful stone at supporting all of that. The integration, the embodiment of higher light in form, literally anchoring more light. And this all really first happens through the heart. It is the heart that is really holding that energetic architecture for the unity field and higher consciousness and higher connections. And so if you're watching this, you might already feel the resonance, right? If you're still with me, you might already feel the resonance of the stone. But the stone often calls people in when they are moving through rapid evolution, rapid dismantling, rapid shifting or awakening intuitive gifts, right? If you're like really primed and at a place to be opening your intuitive channel or connecting in with spirit guides, or if you are really deep in your healing work, people that are like you're going through it, right? Like a lot of heavy processes or heavy energies that you're transmuting. This stone will often arrive when you're really in deep processes and deep inner alchemy, or patterns of deep karmic clearing, right? Where you're like ending soul contracts or starting new soul contracts. And there's a lot of like finishing of cycles, which is where we are collectively right now. So I'm sure you're probably experiencing some of that. And light workers that are really here in higher service, right? You're here to be a bridge between higher light and a bridge to pave the way for new light and form. So you are shifting your energetic architecture. You are holding the higher frequencies, right? And so it's like, this is one of those stones. It's a powerful stone for light workers to really be holding the field, holding the light in form. And so I want to share something really important, because you can learn about stones all day long, right? This like feeds the mental body, the mind, that it's like, oh, I've learned all about the stone. But it's really your experience with the stone that is most impactful and most profound. And that's where the rubber meets the road. And so I want to invite you to not just listen to what I'm saying, but to have your own experience with the stone and see how this lands for you, what this activates within you by working with it directly. And so I do have some smaller versions of this stone in the store, and I have created a crystalline keys activation to support you with that, building that deeper relationship with the stone. And of course, you can do all of this on your own too. But I love these crystalline keys activations because the way it works is that I'm dropping in with the stone, with the intelligence of the stone. I'm doing a journey. I'm receiving the message that's wanting to come through the stone, the activation, the guided experience that's wanting to come through to connect you with what it is that you need to see and build this direct relationship with the stone. And so if you want to go deeper, I have this crystalline keys activation with Smoky Elestial Quartz. And I will say it surprised me a little bit where we went in that activation, but then afterwards I always see the brilliance of like why it's taking us where it's taking us. But it does bring forth the ability for you to really look through this higher lens, this higher perspective of higher levels of light, and then really awaken the shadow or see different parts of the shadow within self. And then it guides you through this alchemical process for sitting with that and integrating that. So I will link that below. If you want to check it out, I would love to share that with you. And then I also do have other crystal classes, as well as my shamanic crystal mentorship, crystal wisdom codes, which takes you deep into building your own personal relationships with the stones, where you are working through direct revelation, which is the shamanic path, the shamanic way. And it teaches you how to awaken your intuitive gifts and become a channel for crystal wisdom. So if you're interested in that, join the waitlist. The program's going to open again in January, and I would love to welcome you into that. If you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them below. But thank you for being here. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.